What's up, y'all? Taylor Exchange here with another video. If you're new to the channel, I'm a part-time reseller in North Texas, and I'm here to show you how I make money selling things online. Today is a what solds video. I wanted to share a video with everything that I had sold since the last video that I posted, but I sold 42 items since that last video dropped, so I'm going to condense this video down a little bit. I'm going to show you the 10 items that I sold and made a profit of over $30 for. Let's get straight into it. The first item I found was a pair of Nikes. I picked these up at Burlington. I paid $19.99 for these. They sold for $79.99, and after shipping and fees, I made a profit of $39.32. When it comes to retail arbitrage, you definitely want to make sure the sell-through rate is high on them, because once other people start picking up those same shoes from Burlington or Ross or wherever they get them, the outlet stores, sometimes it can just tank the market, or you'll be holding on to the shoes for quite a while. I think I bought these back in May, like after the reopening, and they are having a big sale. So I bought a couple pairs of shoes, and these sold for full price, but another pair I ended up selling for a lot less because I just wanted to get some of my money back. The next item that sold was a DVD recorder. I paid $5.40 for this recorder, and it sold for $99.99, and after shipping and fees, I made a profit of $71.47. This is the first DVD recorder that I picked up. The key to this one is when you're looking at all those DVDs that are stacked up at Goodwills or thrift stores, you want to just look for that word recorder, and if you see it, definitely look it up. The Panasonics and Sonys are going to be where the money's at. Next item that sold was a Wii, and it came with some remotes. I paid $10 for this Wii from that video game bundle I picked up. It sold for $79.99, and after shipping and fees, I made a profit of $50.34. You know, video games always sell, and with the coronavirus, they're selling even faster than normal. Next item I picked up was a pair of Doc Martens. These were the sandals. It's the fisherman's sandals. They're size 13. I paid $3.24 for these. They sold for $59.99. After shipping and fees, I made a profit of $41.42. Doc Martens is an excellent brand. Every time I pick them up, I typically sell them. The only ones that stick around the store for a while are like the smaller sizes. But if you get anything in a big size, it typically sells pretty quick. The next item that sold is a Panasonic VCR. I paid $5 for this. It sold for $59.99. After shipping and fees, I made a profit of $34.91. If you're packing up a VCR, I would suggest using Pirate Ship and the box in a bag. It goes by cubic shipping weight, and it'll save you a lot of money in the long run. The next item that sold was a pair of military PT gear. I had two separate listings on these for $29.99, and the same buyer bought both of them. I only have $2 into both pairs. Ended up paying he bought both of them, so it ended up being $59.98, and after shipping and fees, I made a profit of $37.08. I typically get military camo pants, the Woodlands, which are the brown, the black, and the green, and then whenever I see PT gear, I typically try to pick it up too, because if you can get them cheap enough, they sell pretty quick. There's a lot of military members that are looking for these on the cheap, and they go to eBay to get that. Next up is a really good sale. So this was a DeWalt battery, and I think it's a really good sale because it's one of those items that a lot of people will just kind of pass on. This is the old school DeWalt battery. I paid $4 for this at a garage sale, and it sold for $59.99. And after shipping and fees, I made a profit of $40.37. When it comes to these drill batteries, right now they have the lithium-ion batteries, and if you go to the Lowe's or Home Depot, you're going to pay like $100 for one of these batteries. Now, this is the older 14.4 volt battery, and it's a lot bigger and heavier, and it still had a pretty tremendous sale rate. So somebody out there is using the old drills, and they just needed a brand new battery for it. It was new in box, and there was a little bit of damage on it, but it did sell for $59.99. So I was really happy about this. But definitely be careful picking up the old batteries, especially if they're like used, because some of them just don't hold their charge for very long. And some of the brands, like there's a lot of drill brands out there, and some of them just aren't good. So you're going to want to look for like DeWalt, Milwaukee. Those are really the top two that you're going to want to look for. And Bosch is a pretty good one as well. Next up, this was a Sony combo DVD VCR unit. I paid $20 for this at a estate sale and ended up selling for $129.99. And after shipping and fees, I made a profit of $78.86. So on this item, I had it set for FedEx delivery. The buyer asked me a question. They said, I live in Hawaii. Would you be able to ship this to Hawaii? Now, I kind of thought Hawaii was a part of the global shipping program where eBay sellers send their items to, I believe it's in Kentucky, the eBay center, and then they ship it off globally all over the world. Well, The price on this for USPS was going to be like $58 to ship this VCR. I remember that somebody had mentioned on Pirate Ship you can do a box in a bag, and it goes by the cubic shipping. So this was the first time I've actually used this one. It ended up being $12.78 to ship this all the way to Hawaii, and it was an 11-pound box. It was actually 18.5 inches by 12, and that metric has to be 18 by 12 is like the max it can be on Pirate Ship for a bag in the box. I ended up actually cutting out a little bit of bubble wrap and like tightening up the box, and then just wrapping it in a trash bag and taping it up really nice, and then putting a label on it and just send it to the post office. So I still got my fingers crossed on that one. It's the first time I've ever shipped something like that, but I've heard a lot of their sales use the word cubic shipping, and that must be what they're talking about, because it was a game changer in price. I mean, I still would have made a profit of like $30, but because I shipped it that way, I made $78. So it was definitely an excellent sale, and definitely something you look out for. When you're reselling these items, sometimes shipping's like where all the profit's at, especially if you're starting out and you're selling something like shoes that have a high sell-through rate. The better you can pack them, if you can get them in flat rate shipping, you're going to save some money, because whenever you find out that it has to go all the way to California or, the opposite zone, the opposite coast, it's going to cost a lot of money. The way the shipping is if it's really close to you, it'll be zone 1, and I think zone 8 is like the furthest away. So that's where the price comes in, and you definitely want to get these things shipped for cheap. Second to last item, it's another VCR. This is the Orin VCR that I just bought. I think it sold in a couple days. I paid $4.99 for this at a Goodwill, and it sold for $59.99. After shipping and fees, I made a profit of $33.71. I just noticed this, but a lot of items I sold were for $59.99, so I'm definitely going to continue pricing things at that price. Like, I don't know, that must be the sweet spot. And none of those VCRs, well, the Sony one had the remote, but none of the other VCRs I sold had the remote, and it still sold for that. So had they had the remote, I'd probably bump it up another $20. And I always try to include the AV cables. A lot of people have them laying around, but it's just nice to get the device with, power and a way to connect it to their TV. It's just kind of like a little, it may set you apart from that other VCR that doesn't have any cables to it. Lastly is a pretty great sale. So my wife went garage sailing with me 2 weeks ago, and at this one garage sale, a guy had some Disney Infinity characters. It had the little power pad, I guess, and then it had a bunch of different lots. Like, it had the Avengers lot, it had the Guardians of the Galaxy, it had some Toy Stories, and I think Elsa and Rapunzel. So those people that were selling it said, well, I guess you can have this if you want it, because they don't have any value. We tried to go to Game Exchange and trade them in, and they wouldn't give us but $1 for the entire lot. So I guess we'll sell them to you for $1. And I was like, I don't know. My wife was making this deal, and then she was just like, yeah, we're going to buy it. So when we started looking them up, I decided to lot them into different things. This was the Guardian of the Galaxy lot. It had the pad, and we only have a quarter into it when it breaks them. When you break down how many listings I had, it sold for $49.99 after shipping and fees. We made a profit of $35.42. So go, Stephanie. That was all my wife's sourcing, and then of course I listed them and whatnot, but she definitely did a great job there. And if I could just bring her to the eBay reselling team, we would be unstoppable. But anyway, I mean, that goes to show the more eyes you have out there sourcing. I don't know if I would have came across it, because the bag was all ratty, and some of the pieces, 2 of them had been chewed up by a dog, so I might not have even grabbed them. But Disney Infinity, that's a pretty good little lot right there. So that's their 10 items. And I do have a bonus item. This sold about an hour before I did this video, and I haven't even got it put into the computer yet and figured the profit on it, but I know it's going to be a good one. I have about $4 into this. It's the Xbox Kinect motion sensor, and it just was this little sensor bar. So I paid $4, and it sold for $59.99, believe it or not. And that's going to be a good flip, probably $35, $40. I'm not really sure. I know I'll be able to fit it flat rate and just wrap it up in a lot of bubble wrap. But there you have it. Those are 11 items that made me a profit of over $30. So if you want to get in on that game, bump up your average sale price, look out for those items, buy those items, and get them listed on your store. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to comment, subscribe, support the channel, and let's go. I got another week of sourcing to do. I got a lot of items to list, and I got a lot of sales to share with you guys, so stay tuned.